everyone! Today I'm going to talk a little bit about Jamie's Vocalise number 3. It's going to rain so you can hear thunder. How I started was because I remember there's one piece, dun, 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 something like that. La, do, mi, la came to my mind. So I started to naturally come up with the first melody. La, do, mi, la, do, ti, la, so, re, mi, fa, mi, re, do. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to just repeat this pattern, this sequence. So I sang a few times, I think. But anyways, I come up with 4 bars. Da 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 da. Re fa la sol la. So basically, this is the first thing that I wrote. And then I come up with the rest of the song. In the beginning, I was trying to keep this tempo. Da 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 da. But the thing is, I'm changing from one chord to another chord. I'm accompanying myself each note with a chord. I have a restriction in my playing, my piano. So I find a way to solve this problem. I make it a longer, like a prelude, like la do mi la da da do ti la so re mi do. So that is how I invited my melody in, and then following with a very quiet small ending before we go to a more flowy melody. So we come into the verse, which is the da 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 dum 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 da dee. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to repeat the same pattern again. Da 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 dum da 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 da. So what I did with the vocal here is I did some articulation. So it is da 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 dum da 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 dee dee. I was trying to do an accent on the da 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 dum da da da. But it's not very natural, so I don't know. Later, let's look at the recording. And the other vocal technique that I added in was da, da. I want to play with the our restriction. You cannot do scooping, so I just want to apply this because it's fun, I don't know, maybe I have already incorporated the correct technique of the correct scooping, so maybe it is not but it's right? Okay, next is also one of my favorite parts is mi re mi do ti da. So this one is also, I thought to myself, I have to repeat the same pattern because only with enough repeated pattern that we can hear a song. So this is also one of the mistakes I corrected for my third version. What I repeated was I did one original version, mi re mi do ti do la so la mi, and then I changed mi re mi do ti do la si la fa. This is also a very flowy, that means I don't use a lot of energy. If you look back at the song, I'll always remember it this way. My mini tutorial, I mentioned about the which Lady Gaga didn't give a lot of energy to sing that ad-lib part, but I give my all, so I also apply to this Vocalise. So just try to sing energyless to keep the flow. And then I come back to the energy. La, sol, la, fa, mi, fa, fa, la, do, ti. I did something like a sforzando for the T, maybe an accent. So, la, sol, la, fa, mi, fa, fa, la, do, ti. And then following with the new transition to the dance section. So, si, mi, re, mi, re, do. And also, because recently I'm learning Raphael's Sherazade, I've been learning for forever. So he likes pentatonic scales, I think. The main element that I'm writing for this one is pentatonic scale. And this see me. I just want to incorporate some embellishment here. And this see me re is as straight as possible. We do not want vibrato. I think I did a little bit because too straight is I need a little bit of vibrato, so just a little bit. And then one phrase into the da 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 da. So the piano is dancing and I'm going to just hold the straight note and then breathe in and then continue to slide in the note for the next few long notes then. So there are two places that I use this technique, which is to slide in the song. It is the beginning. So because if we start like this, it's like suddenly come in, right? So I'm trying to like slide in. Imagine that we are playing with the, you know, strings player. La, do, mi, la. So this part is also si, mi, re, mi, re, do. So the dancing piano is da 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 da, and then accelerate da 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 bum da da da. Okay, what am I doing here? So I'm playing with the tempo. So I was accelerating with the dancing piano. So the piano is moving, there's a lot of motion there. So vocal is just staying and holding the long note, no vibrato, I hope. No, actually the last version I did a vibrato, especially for the last ritardando. Before we go into the la ti do, one bar before that, I did a strong vibrato there just to increase the intensity. And also I did a crescendo there. And all the way go to la la ti do. That part is a transition, which is a good place for intensity. And then we go into the 3/4, which is my favorite, I think, for a long while. Because I remember my bottle of warmth, I also write in 3/4. Vocalise number 2, I'm also writing in 3/4. So this comes very naturally. So actually this mi, fa, mi. This melody wasn't in 3/4, but after that I tried it out. Hey, it works. So how about let's just stick to the natural tendency of 3/4 of the melody. So this is my favorite part. It's a little bit like Shostakovich, the waltz that I like to use in my reels. So so la ti do. I just sing naturally with whatever I have. Just sing like a soprano, as much vibrato as you like, as I like. But then I find it a bit over, too dramatic. So I tone it down a little bit. So always be very careful with how you tone, because a lot of times when I try to tone it down, I mean tone the energy down, I will sacrifice the singing part, the expressive part, the flowiness of the music. Continue is the mistake. It's not a mistake, it's something that I experimented, but it don't work. I want to come back to the beginning slow type of tempo after this waltz, but it don't work because after that slow part, I come back to a quick tempo. If I change too much within these 4 bars with the change of tempo, change of keys, that will be too messy. And first is it's very hard to get the tempo, and the second thing is it's very difficult to sing. It's like not making sense. I was like, what am I writing? You know, then again go down to the piano and try out the same chords, and I see if I keep that melody within the waltz type of style. So, and I see whether it matches from one section to the next section, and it works. So I keep the modulation and then remove the change of timing. So it becomes a modulation and a modulation and a modulation. So maybe it's a tonicization. So let's talk from the this is also ho, 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 ho. So fa mi re mi. I don't know. You see my score. I have not tapped it out yet because that is going to get in my way to produce music. So I just produce first and then I will put it down into paper. So basically it's so fa mi re mi, like that. And then I am in the chord of D. Now I bring back the element of the beginning of the music, which is la do mi la, but this time it's in words already. La do mi la do ti la so re mi fa mi re mi, and then re mi re do was the beginning. But here, because of the chord, I am forced to change the melody to da 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 da, so that I can go to the chord of G, da 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 da, and then one octave lower. That means the modulation, changing the vocal octave to one more lower. So da 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 da. So it's also la do mi. I wanted to sing on the G itself, but it was too high already, so I come down and treat it as a challenge of my lower register. So la do mi da da da. So I still keep the la do mi sound. La do mi da 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 da. This is a new part that I just figured out yesterday to replace the strange sound and get an extension and the completion of the new modulation part, because 4 bars is not enough. So when I played on the piano, I was like, oh, okay, I feel like I can still repeat one more time. So I repeated and I thought, okay, whatever, I'm going to compose the melody after I do the recording and just listen to what I recorded and then I compose on top of it. So this G major part is a part that I invented yesterday. So my favorite, da 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 da. So it's a flowy part. I borrow the emotional elements from the beginning, the flowy beginning, and then now I want to transition to the part with animated feeling. Animato. I wanted to make it the whole thing flow, but since there is a intensity section behind there, I gradually build out the animation into the animato section, and then here is the section that I kept from the strange sound. So this is the part that I borrowed the genius of Mozart and Beethoven, Mozart actually. So I'm doing this mi re mi do ti do la si la mi with the same melody. I am using another chord but with the same melody. So it's a E flat minor and a B minor. Okay, this is how it sounds. Mi re mi do ti do la si la mi, and then I change to la so la mi re mi do ti do la. But it cannot work because it is transposed all the way down into the G major section, and so I change the. So when I go ascending, it is now like this. I have my note written on the receipt. So do ti do mi re mi la si la do mi re mi do. This is so difficult. Do ti do mi re mi la si la do mi re mi so fa so do ti do mi. Okay, I'm not gonna sing that anymore. And then I follow by. So this do ti do ti do ti do ti do ti do is I use back the same piano accompaniment, the chords from the flowy section just now, but now I change the dynamics and change the intensity. So do ti do ti do ti, where this come from is from the song Isen, his 浮夸, as I sang. Because originally I was singing exactly like the beginning, but it ended up like when I sing with the accompaniment, the recording, the new idea came, so I just stick to this. Actually, I was only singing for 1 bars, but I feel like I can extend 2 bars to really build it up. You know, in the end of Beethoven's symphony, right, they always have the extension, and have built all the intensity all the way up. So I thought, okay, I should have enough length, enough repeated patterns so that the intensity is enough for me as an audience to hear that intensity, to feel that emotion first before I change. I end that session and change to a new section. And then I end with something very complicated, and it don't work because first of all, it's not singable. I mean, it's not singable if I want to compose this and then record this in a few days' time. You know, if you want to keep it as a routine, you have to hit the deadline. So after the and then it is coming back to ha 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 da 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 da. It's completely new thing here. Do fa la so. So this do fa la so re do so is a completely new element here. That is the thing that I'm trying to write here. And why I choose it in G major and not put it in B minor is because I want to have that hanging type of sound there. If I think I did play it in B minor. Yeah, this is what I wrote here, right? B major, G major, B major, G major. That's nice, right? Because B minor is a bit like this sound again, a bit boring. And after I hear it, if I play this combination B major and G major, okay, it sounds okay. We just stick to this one. And it ended up leading me to remember this composer, Dvorak, his New Verse Symphony. So his ending of his first movement of Symphony No. 9 is also using this chord. So I was using this chord as the beginning. So perhaps this is his ending and my beginning. His ending of the symphony and the beginning of this Vocalise number 3. Okay, so let's first talk about vibrato, and then next we come back to the motion of the music. So the first one is I also designed vibrato for this Vocalise. So the first section, no Vocalise. Why? Because we want to create a celestial heaven type of feeling. Okay, specifically is the Chinese type of heaven. If you watch those episode drama series, the type of very minimalist type of feeling. You know, when I say about minimalist, I thought of the Japanese brands like Uniqlo and Muji, but it's not that type of yeah, perhaps it is because I like to go there. So what I was trying to convey is to minimalize the use of vibrato. We want to make it as flat as possible because we want to use the resonance of the voice. I want to give my definition of the resonance, right? So when we do sound, we want to increase the sound before it fades away. So for example, we don't want like that. So as it fades away, you have to increase 1% and 1% so that it's sustained. And this is very good effect, especially when we are doing the crescendo type of sounds. So no vibrato or minimal vibrato. You have to depend also to the effect. No vibrato for the introduction, verse, and then the transition into the dance part. Dance part, no vibrato until the ritardando before we go into the flowy section. So when we are inside the waltz section, we can use your soprano voice, just give what you have, enjoy the sound you can create. And then when we transpose lower, we go to the G part already. My weakness is the middle lower register. I'm still developing that part of my voice. So I will be very scared. I scared there's no sound in that register, so I don't dare to sing, or because I want to, you know, that part is also leading to another flowy section. I am trying to control too much, and that is not very helpful in singing this, to bring out the emotion, to bring out the piece, the music. So you just give it till the end. We can just do naturally. Another note is that do ti do ti do ti do ti do ti do ti, that intensity part, I tried to give my all, but it breaks. So I found my threshold. So you also can find your threshold. You want to create the intensity. And this is a very cool part. I actually did a manually effect for the voice. So I did, so it's from a very dark to a very bright, just to give that intensity. When we come back down to the fa, la, I wanted to make it a strong one, perhaps a solid one, because it's a big leap. When you give so much energy and you want to come back down to the lower register, you will need to control a little bit, because if you give the same amount of energy, then maybe you will break or you will affect that tone quality. So basically, that is vibrato part, where you need to sing the vibrato and where you have to use the straight tone. So the last section, I actually named it animato section. Cool, right? Like a great composer in the past. One more special thing is I do 2 major chords at the end of the music. So after the last chord, only the music ends with the solo vocal with that new elements and do, fa, la, so, re, do, so. Okay, so that is all about Vocalise number 3. I think it's very difficult to sing. It's very challenging, but I also put in a lot of the melody that I really like. I hope you enjoy.